All right, so you may have noticed that I look a little different. I ended up doing my therapy, so I threw a shirt on. It's a little cooler. The sun has set now, so I figured I'd just leave it back on. You know, I do actually own shirts, and I do appreciate my doctor, and I wear clothing around her, so I decided to wear one for her. Anyway, let's get back into it, shall we? Now, the biggest thing that can take a look from fresh faced and the thing she wanted to focus on the most, the eyeliner. So if you remember this from the last video, this was the cream liner that smudged the most. So we're going to take this one and we're going to sharpen it. This one has the cute little sharpener on the end. We're just going to pop it on there, make sure, oops, accidentally, a little too much there. There we go. And we'll just pop that right back on. So let me show you on this eye, just the smudged out eyeliner, and then we're going to do eyeliner and eyeshadow on this side. So since I said we were going to be going back to basics with some of our disability hacks, let me start with a very important one. If you have grip issues, shaky hand issues, anything of that nature, we do it on our brushes, but we can also do it on our eyeliner as well. So let's go ahead. We'll just take it off with this one. And this is one of our little 50-cent rubber pencil grips. We can just slide this right up on it, adjust it wherever we need it. I'm gonna just take that off for this one, like that. And then the second thing, it's really important. I learned this way, way, way back in high school from a makeup artist. Oops, getting a little messy because I didn't clean out the cap. Here am I just trying to rush on through it. All right, what in the world is going on here? Now, the person who taught me this was a makeup counter artist. And she said that if you're working on a client or if you're working on yourself, the best thing that you can do to avoid shakiness, avoid flinching, anything like that, is to rest your pinky on the person somewhere on their face. This gives a bit of a grounding. So it's not, the contact doesn't start on their eye. It's always somewhere on their face. So let me find my little mirror. And again, we're just going to draw a line above the top. It doesn't have to be super perfect because we're smudging it out anyway. And like I say in all of my videos when we're working with eyeliner, give yourself patience, give yourself grace. This isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. If you start to twitch, if you start to have shakiness, wait, breathe, hold it in place. That's going to be your most important thing. As much as you can, just hold it in place, okay? Let's go ahead and start on this eye. We're just going to start to lightly drag. What I like to do, I like to go from the inner corner to the middle, and then from the outer corner and knead it. Don't have to do the whole thing in one go. And even if you can't do that, you can do a little bit at a time. Don't worry about precision. I love this one. I have this one linked in my Amazon wish list. Well, I guess not linked. I have it on my Amazon wish list, which I have linked in my profile, I think. If not, I can drop it in the comments somewhere. But this one is from Bethalon. It is one of my absolute favorites. It's also developed for going into the waterline specifically. And this one is just absolutely amazing. They also have fake eyelashes. The ones I like the best are the self-adhesive. I just absolutely love them. All right, so let's get the lid back on for now so I don't get more messy. So again, you can use a Q-tip like we did in the last one, but since I'm getting messy anyway, let's go ahead and use our finger like I mentioned before. So we're just going to smear this one out grunge style. And because this is a gel or a cream liner, it's going to give you a little bit of playtime. It will set eventually, so don't take a super long time, but it will let you play around a bit. So the more you play, the lighter it's going to get, the more smoke you're going to get. And then the less you play, the more defined the line is going to be, but the less smoke you're going to get. And you just can kind of move it around up if you want. You can move it back and forth. And then if you want, like we did before, you can even kind of drag it out a little bit just with what's on your finger for a bit of a winged effect if you want. And then just kind of clean it up with a finger that doesn't have anything on it. Kind of like that. What do we think? I still think because we're not going crazy over the top, it is appropriate for a younger person. We're just gonna go with person. Again, it's difficult to get over to my YouTube video, but there we go. So I think after school, hanging out with friends, going to a party if you want to, this would work. Now, you wanted to have some more fun, and who doesn't want to? Let's pick a color that could work. So I'm going to go into this Ancient Morphe palette, and let's pick something. Let's go a little more subtle, but we'll have a little bit more fun with it. So I'm going to go into this shade right here. They don't have names, but hold it up a little. I'm going to go into this one right here. I'm just going to get a little bit on my finger. And again, this is doubling as our disability. So anytime you don't need to hold a brush or a tool, anything like that, it's going to make our world so much easier. Also, I mean, if you're younger, Do you really want to spend your money on stuff when you can literally just use the tools attached to yourselves? I mean, I don't, and I'm 43. So again, get my little clip-on mirror here. Got a big one over here, but I want to try to keep facing the cameras as much as possible. So we're just gonna pat this on all over the lid. If you've got hooded eyes, you can take it over the fold a little bit if you want. See how that gives a little bit more shine, a little bit more color, but it's not jumping out at you. It's not a bright blue or bold purple, anything like that. It's not a glitter that's going to be catching a light or getting everywhere. It's just kind of a little added something. So now let's go back in with our liner. I'm going to use the same technique just to lay a little line down. Now I'm doing it on my own face and I've got my technique down, but let's see if I can remember. Just gently lay a finger down. And this time I'm going to do very small little lines and show you that alternative method. Myself a little bit more. There we go. A little bit messier. That's okay. So again, we're going to go in and smudge it. This time I'm going to go ahead back in with the Q-tip, show you the other method if you were not here for the first video, but you really should just go back. Why not? Right? All right. I'm going to smudge this out. This one's a little too pretty. I'm going to give a little bit more. I want to smudge this out a little bit more. I don't think I got quite as much on there because I was doing the littler strokes, but that's what's nice too. You can always add makeup. That's a thing. Always add. It's a lot harder to take away. Don't be, I lost the lid. We'll go back and find it later. Don't always be in a rush to load makeup on. It's a lot easier to just dab a little bit more in the areas you want a little bit more. And remember, like I said, these will eventually set. So if you had a bunch and then you're dealing with one side because you got a lot of it, and then the other side sets before you get to play with it, then now you've got this stuff and it's not moving. I think I just want to get a little more messy. Q-tip's a little too nice. There we go. You know what? I'm going to film something else after this. I am going to go in, actually, and just add a little bit over the top of this. I forgot. Just even these out real quick. What do we think? Better? All right. Now, I did mention that this particular pencil can be used in the waterline. Do I think, again, a tween should be doing stuff in her waterline? I don't know. Speak with your parents before going for it. I do think it's a little bit more of an adult look, but let me show you how I do it anyway, because, like I said, it's very much something that you can decide on your own. This is a page for adults and older teens. So since we're learning here, let's keep learning. So waterline is not that scary. What you're going to do, grab a waterline approved liner. Make sure it's good because sometimes the liners are not safe for your waterline. This one is good for it. That's why I love this one. All right. We're going to very gently pull down, and I am going to use the standing mirror. So very gently using the side. Don't go in like this. You're going to use the side of your liner, and I'm going to give myself just a little bit more. That's why these retractable ones are really nice. You can go in with a wooden pencil, but I would definitely recommend a retractable one. Lightly, just on the rim. You're going to feed it right at that rim where your lashes meet. Just kind of kiss it like that. We're going to give it an incredibly subtle, thin line, please. I know that you will see people with this very, very dark liner all the way around. Please, please let your inner beauty shine through. Please, I beg you. Auntie Sabrina wants you to be you. Don't hide behind makeup. You will have time as you grow up to throw on loads and loads of makeup and play and experiment all you want. I promise you. But just be you, all right? At this age, you want to accentuate all of your gorgeous natural features. Find ways to make your inner beauty pop. If you've got gorgeous brown eyes like the young lady that I met in Target, find shades that are going to bring those out. If you have blue, look on a color wheel and find what colors are going to make your blue eyes pop. All right? We're not going in with heavy lines and heavy mascara and overloading ourselves with a lot of eye makeup because you're still so young and the light has not been taken out of your eyes yet. Listen to me, life is going to get hard. If you look at other videos on my page, and please don't. While I do teach makeup and we do have fun on this page and, you know, I talk about disability hacks and we do fun get rid of readies with me and we goof around and we do fun makeup and creative makeup here and we talk about hacks and tips and all these things. I do get political on this page. I do express my opinions because as a disability advocate, as somebody who's been disabled since her late 20s and honestly who has been experiencing symptoms of illness and disability since at least 4th grade. We found out I had tachycardia and heart problems in 6th grade. We thought I was having asthma attacks and migraines as early as 4th grade. There are times that I get very passionate about politics. And it's because I want to protect my community. I want to speak out because there are people in the community that do not have a voice. There are people who cannot risk speaking out. I have nothing to lose. All right. So I will use my voice for this community until I no longer can. But that doesn't mean that you should be going down this rabbit hole. You shouldn't be fighting with people on the internet. All right. Click on the ones that are safe, that are fun, that are light, because you have so much left to look forward to. All right. Don't be fighting. Don't turn dark. Don't be recruited by echo chambers and weird Discord servers and I don't even know what else. Don't live on Reddit, please. Please just stay young and look forward to the future, all right? I know this took a weird turn. I'm sorry. You know, when I sign off my videos, I say stay safe and be kind to yourself, and I mean it. I don't just mean look both ways before crossing the street. I mean, stay safe. Don't listen to people that want to convert you or teach you things or make you grow up too fast, all right? Like, really, protect your heart, protect your mind, go to school, go to college, learn things, grow as a person, okay? And if you need me, I'll be here and I'll fight for you and I'll listen, okay? This will always be a safe space for people that need it, not for people that want to hurt others, not for people who want to make other people's existence illegal. I will fight for the people that cannot fight for themselves, all right? This will always be a safe space for the disabled, the immigrants, the minorities, the members of the LGBT community. I will fight for you. So, all right. Are we here? Do you hear me? As Auntie Sabrina said the things that she needed to say. All right, let's finish up this other line and we will move on. I promise I have a really cool lip hack that's coming up. We were talking over on the Holograve Cosmetics Facebook page, and so I have something to show y'all. Let me finish this. All right, so when I was talking to our little tween in Target, she talked about grunge, and we didn't go very far. So I don't know who her sort of makeup inspiration was, but let's talk about sort of 90s grunge, right? We had a lot of range to choose from. We had the sort of Angelina Jolie, really cool nude tones. We had the more sort of deep red plum tones with the more of a rocker looks. And so because I already have my Morphe palette out and I don't really have a lot of range in lipsticks, I want to show you this hack. Buy a cheap liquid matte lipstick. Because once you have this, you've got a palette, and it doesn't have to be Morphe. It can be any palette with colors that you're drawn to. When you have this, you have this many lipsticks. Yep, it's true. So we've got some plummy lipsticks, right? We've got some reds. We've got some sort of cool nudes. We've got some stone colors. We've got all kinds of colors. Up in here, we've got some grays. Down in my larger palettes, we've got purples and golds and pinks and all kinds of colors. You know what else we got in here? We've got some highlighter. We've got some bronzers. We've even got some blush. When you've got a eyeshadow palette of decent quality with a range of shades, you've got a face palette. And when you've got black lipstick, you have a base for any color you want. And if that's not the biggest disability hack, I don't know what is. Because honestly, like I said, I became disabled in my late 20s. I am on SSDI. I currently make $1,079 per month. I live in California. I cannot live on my own. I checked the rent over at the low income housing they made downtown. It's amazing. It's brand new. It's supposed to be to get people off the streets, right? I don't make enough to rent low income housing. I have been on waiting list for Section 8 for 8 years. I don't say this as a poor me. I don't say this because I hate my life. I actually really like my life. I have a great roommate who doubles as a caretaker. We fight like cats and dogs, but at the end of the day, we love each other. It kind of stifles my dating life, but that's neither here nor there. In the entire time I've known him, he has not dated anybody, so, you know, goes both ways. But we can't live independently. We depend on each other's incomes. So makeup can get expensive. When I wanted this palette, I had to save. I was talking about Holograve, and they are incredibly reasonably priced for the quality that goes into their products. Do not get me wrong. I'm not saying that Holograve is expensive. She puts her heart and soul into those pigments, and they are incredible. So her products are incredibly well priced, period. End of. I have not purchased the Fairy Ring palette because I'm putting away money for the Fairy Ring palette too, because I already know it's going to be amazing. The first one is pastels. I'm not really a pastel girly, but the second palette is going to be the opposite. is going to be the mirror image of those pastels. And she has these interference shades that are like these sheer duochromes almost. Like they show up on skin in the light and they're just incredible. And I can't wait to see what the opposite of those are when they're not pastels, when they're the dark shade. Oh my gosh. I am saving up for that palette, and it's not even going to be that expensive. Like the Fairy Ring palette right now is $66, and it's like 30 something shades. So by the time the Fairy Ring palette 2 comes out with inflation and all that, it's going to be more expensive. So it'll probably be in the $70 or $80 range, which again, for a palette that size and that quality is not expensive, you guys. So I'm not saying that at all. But again, on the budget I'm on, I know I'm going to be on that pre-sale list the second it comes out. I want that palette so bad, and it's not even made yet. So I'm waiting for that one. But when that palette comes out, it's mine. And I'm going to have 30 something brand new lipsticks. I'm going to have 30 something incredible eyeshadows. Those sheer interference shades, the most amazing highlighters ever. I will use that palette probably every single time I use my makeup. So, sidetracked, that happens. Let's make lipstick. So, first thing you do, make sure there's nothing on your lips. I had some chapstick on earlier. I wiped it off. So you're gonna start with this. I forget, I probably found it on Amazon. It has no brand name. So just do your lips the way you like. I tend to do my Cupid's bow. I know some people wipe theirs out. Some people overdraw. I just do my natural lip shape. So let's do that. Oh, I forgot. This smells like vanilla or cupcakes or something. I don't really have a hack for this. I'm not really good at it. Just get it on the best you can. If you go outside the lines, lick a Q-tip and wipe it. It's just liquid lipstick. There's not really a hack. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, besides normal stabilization. So I guess there is a hack. Whenever you are dealing with stabilization issues, if you can rest your elbow or your forearm, whatever you can get against a table, like I just naturally did it, so I wasn't even thinking about it. Whenever you can do that is a way to stabilize. So I'm doing it now, but I can't show you guys on camera without moving the cameras physically. So that's all I have for you. I'm sorry. Now, because this is matte, it dries down very quickly. So you would normally want to work pretty fast, but normally you don't talk and do a video in the meantime. So, all right. And I could add liner to this, but it's really not necessary for our purposes today. Okay, let it dry all the way. Now let's pick a color. So I think I'm gonna go sort of in the middle of the options. So this is gonna be kind of in the middle of the plums, kind of, sort of not quite a nude, but not completely like cool toned stone colors. So we're gonna go with this one right here. There we go. All right, so what you're gonna do, again, just using your finger, really load it up this time. Not like the light that we did, light dusting we did for our eyes. Load this one up and then just start applying it to your lips. Now, this is not the Beetlejuice lip trend. Try and pull your lips apart. You're not trying to get the wrinkles. You're gonna be pushing it into the cracks until you get a completely smooth application. So pull your lips up and back against your teeth, like that. Don't screenshot this, don't be mean. And you can leave an edge around the side if you want to. Just kind of depends on the look you're going for, but you can get as close to that edge as you want. If you're going for just a plain lipstick look, get rid of that edge. What we can do at the end is kind of go in with a fluffier brush and get right up to the edge so it looks just like lipstick. Now, if you're worried about pigments and stuff that are not specifically made for your mouth going in and around your lip area, I wore something, in fact, it might have been one of these shades to a club a couple weeks ago. It did not budge. That's the reason we're using the black lipstick. It adheres to this and it did not move. Nothing came off. That's why we're not applying it directly to our lips. This is the medium that's going to make this stuff stick. And that's why we're rubbing it in so hard. You might get a tiny bit of transfer, but this is locking it in. I was drinking water. I was using a straw. I mean, this stuff was not budging. All right. So really get it on there. All right. When you think you've gotten as much as you can stuck on with your fingers, I actually got pretty close. So I'm going to get a little bit of a smaller brush, actually. Actually, this will work. So it's still got enough fluff to move, but it's also thin enough to get that line. So load it up. I'm going to get my smaller mirror and I'm going to get real, oh, accidentally got some a little bit out of the line there. I'm going to have to fix that. That's okay. Everything is fixable. Oh, it's because I didn't get it all the way off my hands. Oh, you know what? Do you see these? Aren't these cute? These are from Daiso. And I actually went back and got a second package of these brushes because they're really cute. It's the same brush that I'm going to use right now. They were $6, I think. So they work out to $2 per brush, which is not bad at all. Okay, so now I'm just going to pack it in and get it right up close to the edge of that line. And this process can take a little bit of time, so I'm gonna get quiet. We'll cut it out. I'll see at the end of the other side. All right, so this is the finished product. What do we think? Now, I did choose sort of a more shimmer shade, so it does come off a little bit metallic looking, but that's actually really good for the sort of 90s time period. We did a lot of like frosted metallic sort of shades, so, but you can kind of just choose what you want. That's why a palette with a lot of mixed textures works really well. Now, we're not done with the palette, you guys. Let's just keep this moving along, shall we? We did my concealer. We did a little bit of contour right before the break. So now we need some blush and highlighter, right? I mentioned that if you get a very diverse palette, you can kind of use it for everything. So let's pick out a blush shade, shall we? We've got some options. I don't know if I want to go with a super shiny though. So I've really been liking peachy shades on these. So let's look at, so we've got a couple of, I think that one's going to be too dark. What about this one? Ooh, that one could be fun. What do you guys think? Maybe this lighter one? So those are our 3 options. I think the middle one could be really fun. Let's try that one, especially if we top it with, yeah, let's do that. It's a little non-traditional, but I think we can make it work. Yeah, I think it'll brighten up my face a lot too. All right, so we're gonna go with this shade right here down at the bottom for the blush. So I'm just gonna load up my normal blush brush. We're gonna go up here to my cheekbones. I'm gonna actually take it all the way up to my temple, like that. I really like that. It's a little bit unexpected. I'm gonna bring some warmth to this really cool palette that we've got going on. I think I'll even pop some right on the tip of my nose there, just for fun. Now we're gonna switch into this really fun brush. I think we're gonna go for the blinding highlight shade right here. Tap off extra. We're gonna go right at the top of that blush shade, right up at the top of that cheekbone. Now, I'm of Asian descent. I'm a mixed mutt. So my cheekbones are literally right at the top here underneath. For somebody else, they may be lower, so make sure you're checking your bone structure. Don't just place it wherever you see somebody like me online doing it. Make sure you're actually feeling for your structure and placing it accordingly. There's lots of maps that you can find online. My goodness, do you guys see that? I know TikTok can really see how blinding that is. This is eyeshadow, you guys. That's not highlighter. But if you have a good palette with a bunch of mixes, I honestly wish this one had more mattes and a couple other textures. But if you get a eyeshadow palette with a bunch of different things, you can use it in different places. So I'm now putting it here. I'll highlight my Cupid's bow, maybe a little under my brow bone. My roommate is getting home, so you might hear some stuff in the background. It's okay, just ignore him. All right, we are just about done with this look, so I'm gonna finish off my brows, throw on some mascara, and we are donezo. All we're gonna have to do to finish it is set it. So we'll run through these real quick. And then I've just got a couple of videos I'm gonna film after this. And I think I'll go eat something for dinner. I have not had anything to eat today. In fact, I don't think I've consumed any calories today. That's probably not the best thing, but it is what it is. My goodness, I gotta take care of those gray hairs in my eyebrows. That's no fun. All right, let's give it a test. Nothing. Y'all see that? Nothing. Obviously, you're not going to be wanting to eat anything real greasy. Probably wouldn't, you know, lick an ice cream cone, but as long as you're careful, it should stay in place. All right. Let's curl the eyelashes. And again, some of these finishing things, there's really not a whole lot that can be hacked, you know. There's only so many ways to curl lashes. There's only so many products for these. I mean, there are some that are specifically made from companies that build things for the disabled community. I know that Selma Blair has a company that does do those. I don't know if they have eyelash curlers. I believe they do. However, they're much more expensive than this pair by Wet n Wild. So if you can afford it, fantastic. If you can't, just do the best you can. That's really all there is to it. All right. So with mascara, what I like to do is just simply focus on the outer lashes. I happen to like these tubing mascaras a lot. If you get a waterproof one, they will hold a curl longer. That's just the way the world works. So I like to start at the base of the lashes, give them a little jiggle to get those lashes worked into the little tines of the comb, jiggle them in and give them a little flick. And again, really focus on those outer lashes. Once you get to the end, you can kind of use the end of the comb to pull them out and separate them. And this side is my pretty side. The way that my eye is shaped, when I open my eyes, the brow bone kind of curls my lashes for me. So I usually don't have many problems with them. So easy peasy. However, other side tends to have a mind of its own. So we'll just wiggle it in there, flick them up. Yeah, see, these ones tend to want to stick straight out. They don't like the curl, but we do the best we can. Now, I am not the best role model for the next thing I'm gonna say, so proceed with caution. Everybody knows, right, that you can't curl your lashes after you have mascara on them. That's not entirely true. You can. However, you have to be incredibly careful. Make sure the mascara is completely dry and that your mascara curl or your eyelash curler is clean. The reason that it's dangerous to do it afterwards is because the mascara can stick to the curler if it's not completely dry or there's something sticky on the curler. So the reason you might want to do it again afterwards is because now the eyelashes have something on them that is going to help them hold their shape. So if you do so, do it very carefully, all right? If you have very stubborn eyelashes or you have very mismatched eyelashes, it is possible, but just be very careful, all right? So now I think we're at a good stopping spot. I'm going to give a very brief misting. Again, this is the NYX Marshmallow Setting Spray. I love the smell of it. And this is the final look. What do we think? Again, I think it's too heavy for going to classes, especially if you're in 6th, 7th, 8th grade. Do what you want once you get to high school. That's my thing. Have your own phone, have your own social media accounts, whatever. Once you're in high school, for me, that's a thing. Don't go crazy. Be responsible, be respectful, study hard, get good grades, do the thing. But I feel like once you reach high school, you're responsible enough to sort of make those decisions on your own. But as long as you're still sort of in that tween age range, save this kind of look for the weekend, after school, hanging out with friends, parties. It's really easy to start with that first look and just add on. Again, just add an extra layer of eyeliner. Pop on a lip after school. Keep a little, something this size. Keep it in your backpack for hanging out with your friends after school. We added it with our fingers, right? So this is something you can do afterwards. It doesn't mean that you can't do fun makeup looks. Just wait until after school. That's all I'm saying. I think that's reasonable. Anyway, I hope you guys picked up some tips. I hope that you kind of understand why I don't think my channel is necessarily appropriate for teens, but why I'm making these videos with the idea that parents and their tweens can watch it together. So as always, stay safe, be kind to yourself. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.